Hi, friends. Does the idea of planning an entire month of meals feel daunting to you? Do you come to 3 or 4 p.m. every single day and the thought of cooking dinner drains you more than actually cooking dinner? If so, today's video might be for you because I meal planned January and I am here today to share with you how I did it, what the benefits from doing it were, and whether or not I'm moving into February doing it again. So one of my 34 for 34 goals, I'll link the video, was to meal plan an entire month and see if that helps with decision fatigue, if that helps with bringing back my love of cooking, because to be honest, I do love cooking. I enjoy being in the kitchen. I enjoy trying a new recipe and seeing it turn out. I enjoy being that person who does not use measuring spoons for recipes and just throws the spices in and the oils and just sees how it tastes. My husband is very much a recipe follower. And if anything is in my head, he makes me write it down specifically for him, which gets a little dicey when I say a few dashes of paprika or something. But I set this goal because before I turn 35 in June, I am trying to do more things that make my life a little bit easier, that align with my soft season of being kinder with myself and gentler with my goals. Now, at first, planning a whole month felt daunting to me because how do you choose 31 meals and stick to it? Well, spoiler alert, this worked because I didn't choose elaborate meals. I didn't choose 31 meals. I didn't reinvent the wheel every single night with a new recipe. Because what I learned about myself is that is where the decision fatigue was happening. I was coming to 3 or 4 p.m. every day, pulling up old screenshots on my phone, pulling out cookbooks, scrolling through Pinterest saying, I have this chicken, these vegetables, and this carb source. Can you help me find something to make tonight? And trying to decide something every day and waiting until the end of the day to actually decide what sounds good, that really wears on you. Because not only do you potentially not have the correct groceries and then someone's doing a last minute run, or it's something that you truly didn't want, but you only had the groceries for it, or the recipe flops and then you're heating up chicken nuggets. But that is just a lot of work every night to decide what to eat. So the key concept that I took into planning my monthly meal plan was being realistic and simplifying it by using themed nights. So instead of reinventing the wheel every night by choosing a new recipe, instead of planning a specific recipe for 31 days that I then had to stick to, or I would, in my perfectionist sense, feel like I failed, I created a weekly rotation of meals that I could easily repeat every month that still had structure but flexibility. Now, what does that look like? Basically, I took this beautiful meal planner from Canva, and it's very simple. It has all the nights of the week, a space for notes, and a shopping list section. And I chose a theme for every night that we could repeat for all of January, all 4 weeks, but within it, I got to change the ingredients. For example, Monday was sheet pan night. Tuesday was tacos or taco bowls. Wednesday was garlic lemon, insert fish or chicken here. Thursday was slow cooker or instant pot. Friday was stir fry. Saturday was a simple skillet night. And Sunday was a freezer meal or a no prep meal, like a dump meal. And at the bottom, I listed breakfast and lunch and options that we had for that, which I will be coming out with a breakfast video as in my small shifts series a little bit later, because that is something I've also implemented is shifting how I do breakfast, and that's changing everything, but more on that in a different video. And then from there, Every week, I would pull out one of these sheets. I would have my themes already written at the top. And then all I had to do was choose the ingredients. The goal wasn't variety for variety's sake. The goal was flexibility. So if I didn't feel like inserting variety, if I didn't even have the energy to change it up, I literally would just repeat last week's meal. Simple as that. And benefit number one, which is the biggest one, was my decision fatigue reduced so much using this monthly meal rotation system because every week I sat down, made my grocery list, made my meal plan, and I was choosing ingredients. I wasn't saying, what do we want to eat tonight? What do we want to eat every night? It was, we're having tacos on Tuesday. What kind of toppings or vegetables do we need for that? We're doing sheet pans on Monday. What kind of roasted vegetables do I want? Cauliflower, broccoli, sweet potatoes, carrots, all of them. I was able to look at the categories of each evening and just insert my small tweaks to what we felt like having that week. That saved me so much fatigue that normally came with decisions because taking out that big chunk of what is the recipe and how am I going to make it and just having to think about ingredients. I mean, that's mind blowing. I still am amazed about how much easier it made the last 4 weeks for me. Which benefit number two, grocery shopping got easier because of this. I was only choosing the ingredients. And because I knew at the start of the month what we were doing, I knew that we need to stock up on things like chicken broth, rice, potatoes, the Thai noodles that we love for stir fry night. And I was able to get all of those. So when it came to groceries, I would write my list by just looking through the week that I had just planned out with the categories that I planned out at the start of January and say, we already have all of this in bulk. And basically all we need is fruits and vegetables and then those few lunch or breakfast items because we also get a monthly meat delivery. And for the most part, it holds us over for the entire month. Every so often I have to add on a chicken breast or something to my grocery list. Here, I can show you what a grocery list typically look like. Yogurt, granola, dairy-free cheese, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, broccoli, oat milk, apple juice, peppers, trash bags, contact solution, and pretzels. How easy is that? I was able to plan my grocery list with like 10 to 15 items instead, which saves so much time, which is benefit number three. I was saving time in every area. It was taking less time to grocery shop, taking less time to write the grocery list, taking less time to plan the week. And all of this was compounding into I was finally enjoying cooking again. But bonus time saving benefit by having this monthly plan and this weekly rotation, my husband knew what to expect. And when it came time to making a dinner he was excited about, he would just say, what's on the meal plan tonight? I would tell him and he would say, I can do dinner. Because something that I need to note is I only eat chicken. I eat chicken 365 days a year. It's a personal problem I have. But my husband loves cod, fish, basically any fish. He loves steak, ground beef. My son will eat ground beef. My daughter kind of only eats chicken right now, but we're working on it. And he was able to come in and say, okay, garlic lemon night. I'll put a chicken breast down for you and the kids, and I'm going to put some Alaskan cod on for me. And I didn't think this time saving would also relate to me having some of my evenings back to go do a workout while he made dinner. But I had simplified it not only for myself and made it easier for myself, but I realized it made it easier for my husband to help me too. So we have these three benefits. We reduced decision fatigue. Grocery shopping became easier and time was saved all around. Why? Because it wasn't rigid. If you've been here for any amount of time, you've probably heard me say that we want a structure that can catch us. We want to plan for our life or for our week that ebbs and flows with us. Because I am an accountability coach and I have seen this time and time again with my clients. If we plan something that we have to stick to 100%, we will fail. It sets us up for failure. I was setting myself up for success by telling myself that each week I could still decide what I wanted to eat, but I had a structure that caught me, especially on those days and those weeks where I wasn't feeling well or where we had a lot of projects or being out of the house a lot and there wasn't a lot of time to plan anything. If my husband wanted to swap in his protein source, he easily could because I set up certain nights that he could do that, like ground beef for tacos instead of chicken. The skillet night, he could throw steak in instead of chicken. If we wanted to rotate out the vegetables, because that's great for your gut microbiome, in case you were unaware, it's great to eat a variety of vegetables. We could literally just go to the store and choose what looked freshest, what looked best. When we're doing the farm CSA in the spring and the summer, this is something that's very handy because you never know what you're going to get in your farm box. And in doing a meal plan like this, you're able to work weekly with what you feel like doing, what you feel like eating, or what your resources are around you, what your food sources look like. And so the point wasn't perfection. The point was just having a base plan that I could build off of every week. And to me, that made it realistic, but simplistic. I wasn't doing less cooking. Well, I kind of was when my husband took over. I wasn't feeding us any less. We weren't ordering takeout anymore, but I was reducing the things that caused the decision fatigue. And that was huge for me because in this season, I'm trying to be softer with myself. I don't have the energy every day that I wish I do. I'm still on my road to figuring out what exactly is going on with my health. And right now, I needed this more than I thought I would. So, in closing, am I carrying this into February? I am. And you know why? Because it's flexible. Because we looked at this, and as a family now, we can decide every month what sounds good to us. So we're swapping out garlic lemon chicken cod night for pizza night. Because for Christmas, I got a pizza stone, and gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free pizza is a whole nother beast. And I have been trying to make it at home, and it kind of works, but I think the pizza stone might help the crust get a little bit crispier. But anyways, so because of this new pizza stone that we have, we're going to have a pizza night where we get to make family homemade pizzas. We love tacos. We're going to keep that in. We love stir fry. We're going to keep that in. But we get to play with the other nights and say, did this work? Are we tired of sheet pans? Do we want to swap it around with something else? And now we get to do that. I'm planning like a pasta night where my husband eats red sauce and I do not. Again, personal problem. Really makes all the things harder for me with my texture aversions, my food allergies, and just me being picky in general. But this meal plan is even working with that. So we're going to swap in a pasta night. And then after February, guess what? It's March and we get to change it all up again if we want. But in changing it, we're still going to have a direction for what each week looks like. So if weekly meal planning has been overwhelming you, or the thought of monthly meal planning felt daunting, I hope you can take a little inspiration from this, that you don't have to feel like it's too much at one time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to plan 31 meals, and you don't have to even find new recipes. Take 7 recipe categories that your family likes. One of them can be takeout. You can literally have a pizza night where you just order pizza and then build on it from there. What theme works for your family each night? And then swap out the ingredients and do it for 4 weeks in a row and see if it changes your life too. You don't have to reinvent dinner. We're not all personal chefs to our family, and we don't have to be to feed our family well, especially in a soft season. If you like shifts like this, I will be sharing more. As I mentioned briefly, I'm starting a series called the Small Shifts series. Laying out my clothes was one of my previous videos, and I did that every night for a week, and that was number 1 of my Small Shift series. And I hope you'll follow along with me as I continue down this journey to making my life a little bit easier and experimenting with all the things so that you don't have to overhaul your life all at once. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.